Hey there, it's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. Ever wonder how to do the basket weave stitch? Seen it and gone, that is so cool. That's what we're talking about today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a really cool basket weave stitch. So stay tuned. Hey there, it's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. And today I want to talk to you about this basket weave stitch. I did a video like a year ago on the different kinds of yarn, self-striping and variegated and color blocking and all that sort of a thing. And I showed as an example this blanket that I had crocheted for my son. And I have gotten so many comments about, that is so cool, what is that stitch? Honestly, I can't remember. The blanket is no longer here. It's with my son, which went to a good home. And I know that there was some front post and back posts. I actually had to look back and study the video. So what I was going to do today, I'm going to do a tutorial on the basket weave stitch, which is a variation of the front post, back post stitch. And there's so many different variations. There's so many different basket weaves that you can do. I thought, let's go ahead and just show you a real basic basket weave, and then you can just add and embellish as you want. So here we go. All right, so first things first. Now in this, I'm actually making an afghan for a friend of mine who lives in Colorado, and so it's a lot colder. So I thought this would be perfect. So this is my Christmas gift. I'm starting out with my Christmas gifts. What I'm using is a self-striping tweed. A little bit of a combo here. It's self-striping, remember, because there's blocks of color in here, as opposed to a variegation where the colors just kind of ripple throughout. This is going to have blocks of color in your pattern, which is nice for a blanket or a scarf, something that you're doing that's going to be long and extended. If you do it kind of choppy, it's going to look kind of weird and sort of choppy, broken up. It's also a tweed. If you look closely, it's got some little bit of variegation in here. Now they call it a tweed. You don't call it a variegation. Don't call it, Kimberly, a variegation. Call it a tweed. So this is the mandala tweed stripes. That's what they call it. And so it's got, as you can see, it's got the color striping in here, or the self-striping, and then it's got the tweeds. So I'm going to show you how to use this yarn, and we're going to make this basket weave. And as you can see, look at how cool it is. Now can you see how the color is transitioning? So we started with the darks and we went through about 2 rows of that, and now we're into the lighter, the aqua blues. So then we're going to have this really cool graduation, and in this particular yarn it's going from the dark blues in here to the little bit lighter, to even lighter, then to more of a gray, and then moving into a gray with a brown, and then going back in the dark. So it's going to have this really pretty sort of an ombre growth as it grows up. So it's not an ombre yarn, but it is a self-striping, and it's going to kind of have what I was going for, sort of an ocean wave look. And I think we're going to be getting that with this, with the browns and the blues and so forth. But this is the basket weave here. All right, it's a super, super simple stitch once you understand what you're doing. It's a very simple stitch count of 4. Okay, now, as I said, there's a lot of different variations of the basket weave stitch. The one that I'm doing is with a multiple of 8, which means in your foundation row, you want to have multiples of 8 because you're doing 4 front post double crochets and then 4 back post double crochets, alternating them. So we're going to go ahead and start with our foundation row, chaining 8. So I actually did a chain of 24. That way we can see 3 groupings of this multiple of 8 4 front post double crochets, 4 back post double crochets. So the first thing that we do is you chain 2. Now this is actually not 2 to the last row, it's actually 2 to the next row. So it's going to go like this, and this is going to be considered your half double crochet. You're going to do a half double crochet down each side. So from here, we wrap around, we skip the first stitch in our row, and then from here, we double crochet into each stitch. And we'll have multiples of 8. So here's 1. And we're just going to double crochet all the way across to set up for our basket weave stitch in the next row. All right, so now I have finished my double crochets all the way across the row. And now we're going to turn around and start our pattern. So the first thing you want to do is you always, at the end of a row, you always do a chain 2, and that counts as a half double crochet. So as I turn, these are my stitches for the new row. Now, you'll see, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to skip this first stitch. You see these bars. Okay, this is where we're doing, they call them posts. So this is where we're going to do our front and back post double crochet. We're going to start with a back post double crochet. So you wrap the yarn as if you're doing a yarn over. You come around to the back of the post, come through the back side, yarn over, pull through, and then just finish off that double crochet. So we're going to do that 3 more times. So you yarn over, come to the back of your work, bringing the needle through, hook through, crossing through the back, yarning over, pulling it through, and then doing 2. We're going to do 2 more of those. So you yarn over, come to the back of the work, bring the hook through to the front, wrap it around the back, yarn over, pull it through, and then yarn over. Now we have 3, we're going to do 1 more. So you yarn over. Once more, you come in from the back with the hook, cross over that post, go to the back, grab that yarn, bring it all the way through in the back, and then do your double crochet. Now we have 4 back post double crochets. Now we're going to move to the front. Yarn over, and then instead of going to the back, we're going to the front. So you take the hook or your hook, come to the front, come around the back of that post, pull it through, and then finish your double crochet. We're going to do 3 more just like that. So you yarn over, come from the front to the back, pull it through, and double crochet. Yarn over, back of the post, pull it through, double crochet. 1 last one here, yarn over, pull through, double crochet. Now, do you see how that pattern is starting to emerge? You've got your back post double crochets over here and your front post double crochets over here. Another way that you can tell is you can see this rib, if you will, in your work. This indicates those back posts. There is no rib here in the front, so this is going to be your front post. Now we're going to do 4 back post double crochet. So again, we yarn over, go to the back of the work, bringing that hook through the front, bringing that yarn around through the back, and we're going to do that again 3 more times. Now we've done those 4 back post double crochets. Now we're going to move back to the front of our work. Yarn over, come to the front once more, go around that post, pull through. Yarn over, go around the post, pull through. Yarn over, come around that post and pull through. There we go. And we're going to finish off this row going back and front. Once you start working your rows, you'll really start to see this pattern evolve. You can see the basket weave, and then you'll know where you need to do your front post and your back post double crochets. So there's 3. We're going to do one more. Then we're going to move to the front, yarn over to the front. So if you think about it, it means your post is coming to the front of your work. One more here. Now you see our 4, and I think the front posts are easier to see. There's your 4. Now we're going to move to the back of our work. So remember, back post double crochet. Oops, make sure you get that yarn over. You've got the 3 loops on your hook. You double crochet back. There's 3. There we go. All right, now here on the end, this little loop here is where you're going to do your half double crochet. Okay, and then at the end of your row, this little loop here, you're going to do a half double crochet. So that means you yarn over, have all 3 loops on your yarn or your hook, and then just pull it all the way through. Then we're going to chain 2, which is going to be the half double crochet for our next row. And then from here, you're going to do the opposite. So we're going to yarn over it. Now, because we have the back post here, we're going to turn those into front posts. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do our back post. So we finished our front post. You yarn over, you come around to the back, pull it through, and you just keep going, alternating the front post and the back post every 4 stitches. And then at the end of each row, as you start the new row, you're going to alternate, and you're going to get this really interesting basket weave look. So now these are the back. So now I'm going to go move it into the front. And to find that spine, right? So here's your spine of your work. And then right here is that post. So you don't go down to the one below. You go right under the top of your stitch. Right there. Bring it through. So let's go through that again. So you yarn over. You find your spine. And that's the post is right above the spine. Yarn over. Come around from the back. This is our front, remember, because we're bringing that post forward in our work. All right, and then from here, moving into that back, once more, you yarn over, you come around from the back, come over that post, and you bring it around to the back. So you yarn over. So then your work, if you notice, is in the back of the stitch. And we'll do one more. And it's real easy to see. Because you start to see the patterns emerging, you'll know when it's time to flip from the front to the back. Now again, we're going to do that front post. Okay, and then we're just going to continue on. And you can alternate this. If you don't want to do such a wide basket weave, you can do this in increments of 2. So you could do 2 back post double crochets and 2 front post double crochets. And the only difference would be that your pattern would look a little bit smaller. Your basket weave would be a little bit smaller, if you will, giving it a really cool ribbing looking look. You can do something that looks very much like a cable. So really, being able to master the front post, back post double crochet really gives you so much more versatility in your stitches and in the patterns that you can do. So learning the front post, back post double crochet technique, and you can also do it in a single or a triple depending on your pattern, is really one of the most valuable stitches that you can learn just because of the versatility. So I'm on my last back post, and then remember, we're going to do a half double crochet right here to finish off that loop. So you yarn over, come right in through the end, and then you just bring it on up. So there you go. That is our basket weave stitch. So this is the pattern I'm working on right now, and you can really see how this basket weave stitch is emerging. You could use this to actually make baskets. You could just make it as big as you want and then just sew off the ends and make it a basket. You could use this as coffee warmers, even if you wanted to do a purse. I'm making an afghan with this. You could even do baby blankets, and you don't have to use a variegation yarn. You could use just 2 different colors and then alternating the colors as you go through the rows. It's really up to you. But I love this stitch. I love the versatility, and look how it adds so much more smush and structure to the blankets. If you want a really nice warm stitch that's got a little bit of give to it as well, this basket weave stitch is a really great stitch to learn and to go with. All right, so that does it for today's episode for our tutorial on the basket weave stitch. Again, I am using the mandala tweed. It's a self-striping, and it has that little tweed look going inside. So remember, with the self-striping, you want to use it for longer patterns so you don't have this real choppy look. It's great for socks, afghans, scarves, different things like that. I am making this afghan for my girlfriend, who lives in Colorado, who just moved there. She just retired, and I figured, ooh, it's nice, and I want something kind of squishy and nice and warm for her. So again, this is the blanket that I'm making. You can really see a couple things. You can see how this blanket really, or this basket weave really gives it a nice kind of a chunky look to it. Okay, it's going to give a little bit of give as well. So it's also going to be nice and thick. It's not just going to be like your traditional, because you're doing those front and back posts. And it's got some really interesting color variations with the tweed, and then we're hitting those lighter colors as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love that you guys are here. Thank you so much for your comments. Thanks for letting me know that you wanted to know more about this stitch, because it kind of pulled it out of the cobwebs in my mind. But make sure you hit that notification button so that you get notified every single time I post a video. I try to post them weekly, so make sure that you stay tuned. Tell your friends about us, and thanks so much for watching and subscribing. Again, this is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. I'll see you soon.